Well, it is Wednesday, June 1st. Everyone, welcome. We have made it through the month of May. May is away and June is here to play. This was the Daily Stoic. You guys know I read the Daily Stoic daily, right? It's a book of daily meditations and inserts that are helpful. And the one from May 30th is the one I want to talk about today. Is that what are the chances that a busiest person you know is actually the most productive? Right? The busiest person you know, are they the most productive? So we tend to associate busyness with goodness and believe that spending many hours at work should be rewarded. Anyone ever had that, right? The reverie of the more hours we spend at work, the better. Like time on the job, like you get rewarded for being the first one there and the last one to leave, right? That notion of nonsense. You can tell by that term that I don't believe in that, right? So
construction.
Instead, evaluate what you are doing, why you are doing it, and where accomplishing it will take you. If you don't have a good answer, then stop. Let's ponder on that for a second, guys. We didn't really do a Mindset Monday because we weren't here Monday, but I figured why not Wednesday? Why not talk about something that's important to me, and that's productivity. If you haven't figured it out, today is not a trick. Today is not a scripting call. Today is a tricked call. Today is me tapping into your brain a little bit. So when I say productivity, what do I mean?
Things that'll really make a difference. I mean, with real estate, it really is though time on task, because just tapping into Dan's call every day and being ready to work at 8 a.m. and then getting to it, or at least making yourself do it every morning, making the calls, just has made a huge difference in my business.
It's huge. It's not even time on task more as much as it is the consistency in action. So when I say productivity, I mean the actions that will make you productive. Now, everyone follow along with me in this vision, right? If you need to close your eyes, you can, right? You wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you wake up on your own farm, right? The roosters are crowing, the chickens are bucking, and the cows are mooing. At 4 a.m., you get up, you strap your boots on, you go outside, you grab a rake and a shovel, and you just start swinging around, knocking over dirt, knocking over rocks, and knocking over trash cans. But you're just swinging. You're swinging those tools around. You're moving them. And then 4 hours later, you go inside and you have yourself breakfast. Those 4 hours that you spent swinging around, was it productive?
No.
God, you sure were busy.
That's kind of like working without a purpose.
Exactly, right? Just that farmer wakes up every morning with a purpose. They have a limited number of times that they get to wake up and do what they do. And the actions that they have limited effort if it's not done consistently. You can't wake up on a farm tomorrow and feed the horses and water the goats and then not do it for a month. Right? How often do you have to do it, Nina?
Every day.
Why is that?
They're going to get killed if they miss a day.
Right? Now, are we farmers in our businesses?
Yes.
A little bit, right? What are our goats, chickens, and radishes? I don't know. What else to grow on the farm? Our clients. Your database, the opportunities that we have. Every person in our database is effectively one of our goats or chickens. Now, if you tell your clients that I told them that they were goats and chickens, they're probably going to laugh at you, but you'll know what we're talking about. And you don't need to wake up at 4 a.m., but you do need to have a system in place, right? I grew up on a dairy ranch in Dean Kerr Road, John Kerr Dairy. It's still there. You can go by and see it. I can show you where I got kicked by a buffalo. I can show you where I tackled a sheep. But what I cannot show you are the lessons that I learned by watching my Uncle Bert, who was a farmer, work the land, work the dairy, work the animals, work the systems. He woke up every day at 3 a.m. He started his day off with a liter of milk, the biggest glass you'll ever see full of milk, but he went every day with the same passion. He woke up, put his boots on, got his milk, got ready, went to the dairy, checked on things, made sure his business was still there. Even though he didn't own it, he still ran it like he did. And then he started his daily task list. Feed the cows, feed the horses, feed the sheep, then feed myself. Every day he had a process, and he was purposeful with it. He wasn't a very busy man. He wasn't doing a bunch of things at once. He wasn't swinging around and raking a shovel in a circle. He wasn't doing 2, 3, 4, 5 things at once. However, he was, in fact, very intently doing one thing at a time. Focused energy to get each task done with its intended focus.
Gary Keller's huge on that, reading the red book. I guess you can't see it right now.
You guys don't even know this, right? Let's go over here to the book shelf of awesome. It's kind of a book, you know. The one thing, right? This is a book I'm going to reread. If you want to reread it with me in June, you can. We'll talk about it. This is a reread in June. The one thing. What is the one thing that we can do that by doing so makes everything else easier or not needed? Right? An ounce of prevention. We talked about last week. An ounce of prevention is what?
Pound of cure.
Better than a pound of cure. So when we talk about like today's daily story, we talk about the busyness of our actions, right? The purposefulness of our intents. If we wake up every day in real estate and we have a purpose and we have consistency, over time, our crops will grow, our livestock will mature, and we will have a harvest. But if you wake up and you just get busy, I'm going to point at Blaine a little bit, right? Just the busy work, doing this and setting up that and setting up this and doing that and getting everything set up, right? Sometimes we spend too much time in the setup and we never put it to work.
Yeah. So, and I don't disagree at all. Like, but I did come from having a lot of templates to work with. So working on those. So when I am at the open house, I do kind of have a, so while I'm at the open house, I'm setting that up. So instead of spending 10 minutes writing an email, kind of have a template that I can customize. So yeah, there is a lot of, and it has bled into busy work, and I have caught myself. I'm spending too much time on that. So
we get indoctrinated, and that's probably not even the word I'm looking for, but we get sucked into it, seduced by the siren song of busy work, because it makes us feel good because we get instant results, right? We swing a shovel and a rake around, we knock over some dirt clods, we can see it working, right? But if we're out there in a field and we're raking and hoeing and weeding, and we don't see any crops growing, we don't know our actions are being valued or not. Every phone call we make, every email we send, every text message we send, every person we contact to create a relationship with, it may not bear fruit right then and there. But just like the crops in the field, the farmer knows that if I do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it, the results will come. Gary Keller did a great job of researching a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. You guys proud of me? I have all these props just set up, ready. It's almost like they're part of my business every day. But these books, they talk about, what successful agents before you have done, what successful farmers before you have done to be successful, and how they've worked their land to realize some pretty magical fruit. So I want you to challenge yourselves today as you're going through your business. Are you being busy? Are you being purposeful? Gary Keller said in 2019 at the family reunion, there was a 2020 at family reunion. I remember sitting there. He said, there is no virtue in working long hours. It does not matter how many hours you put into the day. What matters is what you put into those hours. So spend it wisely. And the only way we can spend it wisely is by having a plan of action, being purposeful with our time. Like Maura said, just starting her day off every day, 8 a.m. with this bald, red bearded man. I don't know how it makes her life better, but it has. In 3 years, her and I have come a long way. Maura, do you remember when I made you guys all stand up and do body language scripting? And yeah, there's a lot more that we have missed out just being on Zoom. I'd love to be back in person for some of this stuff. But the reality is we have to jive with the moment. But the consistency of being on a call every day, focusing on your actions every day, and getting that 1% better every day has paramount change to your life. So today is June 1st. Oh my God, it's a new month. And I don't know what, the human brain absolutely loves The novelty of new. A new day, a new week, a new month, a new year. Right? We make New Year's resolutions and we give up by the end of February. Right? New me, new week, new me. Right? Why don't we just do new day, new me? New hour, new me? What happened yesterday can only be a reference to the future. It can't be an example of today. But if you do repeat what you did yesterday, you will probably get the same, if not less, response today. So if you didn't get the reaction you wanted, your crops didn't grow like you wanted yesterday, what are you going to do today? Right? I woke up at 4 a.m. and I watered half of my garden in last month. Okay, well, it's probably dead by now. So daily activities. What do those daily activities look like? All right, we're going to get in some advanced real estate coaching right now. You guys okay with that? Everyone, you scared? I got people with no cameras on, right? This is you on Teams. Take this to your team leader and see if they agree. What are the daily tasks that you should do every day to be successful in real estate?
People.
Oh, talk to people. Okay. Ooh, that is pretty advanced stuff right there. You're telling me, Maura, that if I talk to people every day, I might find some real estate deals?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, cool. We got one. Talk to people. What's the second one? We're doing it right now.
Yeah. I think everything involves with communication in this business.
Learn them. Gotta learn. How can we be more purposeful with our time, right? One of the best things you guys can do is learn from others, right? People don't listen to what I say because of it sounds fun. People listen to what I say because of who I am. Same thing goes with you and your businesses. People in your databases and your spheres of influence don't just listen to you because you're entertaining. They listen to you because of who you are, what value you bring to them, what purpose you have in their life. So every day we need to provide value to our databases. Our databases. I say it like that because talking to people has no effort unless it's focused. Is it going to be helpful to just walk out of the office and just go say hi to 100 people? No, because you just said hi 100 times. But what if you strike up a good conversation with 4 or 5 of those people? If you're really, really, gregarious and want to go out there and strike up conversation with 20 of them, then you get their information. You make friends and relationships. Do you think that's something you should do every day? Is that work in your fields? Does the farmer have to go out and check on their fields? Does the farmer have to go out and check on their animals? Right? In their mind, yes, they know they're there. The barn is still intact. There has not been a tornado or a wolf that have come through. But they still go out and check every day. And if you don't check on them, what happens?
Wander off.
Yeah, they wander off. Or they get snatched up by a wolf. So every day we need to check on our database. We need to look in our database. We need to make sure that its integrity is in place. We need to make sure that there's no breaks in our fences. And the fences are our systems, right? The follow-up campaigns, the email addresses. A little true to life story. 2 weeks ago, I got a phone call from Jess. She's like, hey, the school called me and said that you haven't paid Stone's tuition. Also, I haven't gotten the bill. She's all, they sent it 10 days ago. Well, come to find out, my Gmail account was so full, I no longer got emails. I didn't know that was possible. I get so many damn emails that Gmail said, this man needs a break. And in that 10-day break, how much business could I have potentially lost? Because my email stopped. It wasn't sending, it wasn't receiving. It was tired. My email gave up. That was the last straw on the camel's back. That email said no more. So had I not mended my fences and taken care of it, right, I could have been months without an email and never noticed. I'd been like, oh, it's been really quiet lately on that email server. But the reality is I did lose business. I did lose opportunities. I did lose face with an organization I had a good relationship with because I'm a man that pays my debts. So for me, I felt bad. But every day we need to check on our system. So put it in your calendar to check on your sheep, to check on your fields, to check on your fences, right? What is my database doing for me? Are my systems in place? Are my follow-up campaigns in place? Are my emails going out and getting read? If you're using a website, is it still up and running? Right? And then what lessons do you need to learn every day? What are you doing to build your farm bigger? What are you doing to add value to your organization? Are you learning? This is a great little book. I don't get paid to sponsor anything. But what I do is I tell you guys what I'm finding value in, and I'm not a reader. But if I have to read one page, and this is like the best thing about it is, this is today's excerpt. It's like 3 paragraphs long. I can handle that every day. I can handle 3 paragraphs of reading every day. But I can tell you the value I get out of just the different mindset allows me to pour into you guys at a much higher level. You are my sheep. You are my cattle, my horses, my thoroughbreds.
I was going to mention, Dan, in sales jargon, it's, they talk about farming and hunting. And really, we need to, when you're first starting out, hunt a lot more, right? Because you got to build those people then to nurture. So,
well, that's the thing is, and if we talk about that theology, the understanding of hunting and farmers, a hunter goes out and gathers every day. They go out and find a meal every day, because if they don't, what happens? They starve. They don't eat. Now, a farmer spends a ton of time up front, producing the workload needed to reap a harvest. Does anyone know how much food a farmer will produce off of one harvest? Let's say, you ever seen a cornfield? Right. We've driven by them. We've seen them in movies, Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner, right? Kevin Costner, when he built the baseball field in his farm, didn't even use up half of the cornfield. It's how big they are. They're 40-acre fields at a minimum. Some are 80. That's a lot of tonnage of corn. I don't know about you, but I like corn, but I don't think I could eat a ton of corn. That's 2,000 pounds of corn. So a farmer will spend a ton of energy and effort to build this database and create this workload to reap a harvest. So much so that he has to hire in help to bring it on. And then everybody eats. A hunter, although gets results faster, does not retain those results the long term. Because a hunter that's constantly hunting and growing and going after new targets, keyword new targets, will burn through the targets. Right? If you have a mountainside and full of hunters and they kill all the deer, what's going to happen to the hunters? They're going to go to the farmer and see if they need work. So, know how to hunt, be a farmer at heart. Hunt when you need to, but always be building your farm. Right? We used to have the same thing in car sales, right? Hunters and farmers. And the hunters would go out every day, just stand on we called it the point, the front of the store where the first point customers will see you, and they'd stand on the point and wait for somebody to come up. And one of my favorite things as a farmer is that every time they went to greet somebody, they would say, "I'm here to see Big Dan." Every one of those farmers would come across one of my livestock. But that's where success was made, guys, is creating a database, nurturing it, growing it, corralling it, knowing where you can put your efforts and value so that you get the highest return and yield. Because people got to eat. So they're going to get the food from either you or someone else. But if you have a ton of resources to provide, who has the best value? I've kind of ranted a lot of farmers and stuff like that, but everyone understands farming. Everyone understands it. We've seen it. We've grown up around it. Some of us even played in it. But when it comes to real estate, we can't be busy every day. There are days for busy work. I get it. You got to get the desk cleared off so you can see the keyboard. But you have to be purposeful with your action every day. If you're not purposeful, you're wasting your energy. You're hunting on a slope that has been overhunted. There are 100 people out there hunting right now. What you can do is you can get ahead of those hunters by knowing where the livestock's going to be and penning it, corralling it, protecting it. And then when it's ready to harvest, you're the one that does it. That's simple. So go out there every day and hunt a little bit. Capture more opportunities, more land to farm. Put them in your database, nurture them, grow them, communicate to them on a systematic level. One and done isn't going to work. We got to constantly grow and nurture and farm. And then at that point, we have the opportunity to reap what we have sowed. And then we have the opportunity to earn our pay for the work that we have done. Because everything we do, including these calls and these classes that we take and the books that we read and the opportunities that we do to produce a better result, give us a better harvest, right? If we learn how to grow a bigger sheep, or we learn how to grow more corn, or we have a more efficient harvesting machine, these are all things that benefit the yield, but it has to be done systematically. So my challenge to you this Wednesday, this June 1st, is to start a new farm or re-engage the one you have and go talk to them. Set up some smart plans. Set up some drip systems, right? We have a drip system in email. We have drip systems in irrigation. They're kind of the same, right? They keep the tree alive so we can bear its fruit. And if you struggle with those, that's when you raise your hand and say, hey, Dan, I need help. Hey, team lead, I need help. Where should I put my drip system? What's the best fertile ground I can use? And then continue to let it grow and then reap the harvest. I hope I've touched someone's heart today on that, because I think it's important. Like this book, that little excerpt, like it's this much wording, created a 30-minute conversation with us. All because busyness is not a virtue to have. Being busy is not virtuous. Being purposeful is. I know people that get more done in 1 hour than some people get in 1 month. Be those people. Sharpen your axe. Better your skills. Dominate your market. Until then, I hope you have yourselves a wonderful day.
What book was that, Dan?
Yes. And then we have Miss Cindy. What's up, Miss Cindy?
Just wondering what book was that you're referring to?
This, The Daily Stoic.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. So it's a good daily read. I was referred to this book by my coach, who was referred this book directly from Gary Keller. So, you know what? I'm going to take advice and I'm going to listen to someone who is doing it. Who else ordered this book? I know there's a couple of you that did. So it's a great book. Hell, if you're in the office and you just want to pop in and read the daily excerpt, just come on in. Take it off my desk and read it. Just put it back. Just don't move my little tassel, because the tassel tells me where I'm at. All right, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. Remember, we are farmers, but every farmer I know has a gun. Remember that. High fives.